Alex Hormozi and Sam Ovens might have just made the best partnership of the last decade. Together, they launched the Skool Games, which in the first 6 days of launching has already generated over $9 million in annual recurring revenue, which roughly at a 10x multiple adds about $90 million in value to the company Skool. So for both of them, they've already added an insane amount of value practically overnight, which is why this partnership is genius for a multitude of reasons. But today we're going to look at their sales funnel they're using to sell the Skool Games and see if we can help them add a few extra million of ARR by optimizing it and increasing the conversion rate. Let's see what we can do to make this thing convert even higher. Now, if I was Sam, there's 3 things really I'm looking to improve inside of the whole sales funnel. Number 1 is conversion rate. Number 2 is average order value. And number 3 is churn, right? We're looking at these 3 metrics. Today, we're gonna look at conversion rate specifically, but we're trying to figure out what can we do to move the needle on all of these, right? So let's now look at the landing page they have currently. Very, very simple, which makes sense because Sam loves simple. And if you're wondering how I know some of these specifics, it's because I was in his quantum mastermind for 2 years, really watching him build Skool. So he loves simple. He doesn't want a bunch of stuff on the landing page. So let's look at this. We have some branding here that's kind of this Minecraft, vibe, which kind of fits in with Sam's personality and, his interests. With this treasure chest and this flame up here. It says Alex Hormozi and Skool present the Skool Games. And that headline, that's something we're gonna look at in just a minute here, because I think there's something that could convert a lot better as the headline, at least something that would be worth a test. And oftentimes the headline is going to move the needle the most on a page like this one. Then the subheadline says, a fun way to build your own business with other people, simple instructions, live workshops, community support, real-time leaderboards, friendly competition, and prizes. This copy is decent. It explains what it is, but the thing I don't like about it is there's not really any benefits. I mean, build your own business is kind of a benefit. Prizes is kind of a benefit, but really they're mainly features, right? It's not really speaking to what the person wants. And that's my main gripe with this page altogether, is it's not speaking to what Hormozi's audience really wants, right? Yeah, they want to build a business, but they want a few other things, which we're going to get into in a second. Then we have challenge happening now, 7,600 people participating. Love these 2 because this shows like, hey, join now. You're going to be immediately, entered into this. And then 7,000 people, that's just adding some social proof, right? And then win one day with Hormozi. So this is probably the best part of the whole page, because this, again, is speaking to what these people are going to want, right? They are fanboys of Hormozi, and to win a day with him, I mean, heck, I want to win a day with Hormozi, right? It's just it's a pretty good prize. It's for the top 10 on the leaderboards every month. There's a few things I think they could do right here that we did on our variation that we'll get to in a second. And then they have this kind of like profile picture of Hormozi. Let's glance at mobile, because arguably most of the people will be on mobile. Pretty much the exact same page. They removed this little icon right here, this little blue icon. That's not on there for some reason. And they have the picture of Hormozi. Obviously the structure changes a little bit, and they have one button and it says play for free, right? And I actually really like this call to action. I feel like it's a fun way to call them to action rather than saying sign up now or join for free. I think play for free really fits the brand and what they're trying to convey really well. So now let's look at the beginning part of what we came up with. So the initial fold right here, this is the first part of the website. The first thing I wanted to tweak is the headline. Now, I took these words from what Hormozi said about Skool, right? What he said about Skool in a video that we're going to see in just a second. And he says, it's the fastest, easiest, most likely way for beginners to make $10,000 a month online. So I'm not making any new content here. I'm just pulling in something he says somewhere else and bringing it to the forefront, right? Now look at this. If you think of Hormozi's value equation, if you've read $100 million offers, you've seen this before. It's dream outcome multiplied by perceived likelihood of achievement divided by effort and sacrifice it takes to get there and the time delay it takes to get there. That is what value equals, right? Skool Games, virtually no value, right? Because it's just a title, right? But if you look at this, we see dream outcome, $10,000 a month online, right? Which is what Hormozi says his audience wants because he's surveyed them. So dream outcome is there, multiplied by the perceived likelihood of achievement. This is what Hormozi is saying, the most likely way, okay? Literally, Hormozi is using his own formula here, okay? Perceived likelihood of achievement, and then we have effort and sacrifice, easiest, right? And then we have time delay, fastest, okay? You can see how this headline will probably convert much higher, right? Because it's just speaking to what they want. On this copy right here, we went ahead and just left it the same. You know, I think if you have a strong headline up here, down here can just explain what this is. We left the call to action the same because, again, I think it's good. It really stands out. It's bold. It's right there. It's an easy place to find. Oftentimes people mess up with call to actions when they put them in some weird, obscure place, okay? But this one's right in the forefront. I really, really like it. Now, I ended up moving these trust badges up a little bit. I kind of thought they were in sort of a weird spot. And I think right here, they just come a little more to the forefront. And I actually added one extra one, which is something that I think they could do pretty easily, which is just adding in the total earnings or total MRR so far added from the contest. Again, because we're just adding some social proof. We're just kind of bringing in some FOMO for the people that haven't yet registered. Let's keep moving down. Okay, one of the things I think they could have done better on this section is they just had this kind of profile picture of Hormozi. And they also didn't really explain the details of winning a day with Hormozi. So in this one, I wanted to do that, okay? So we added in this picture of him actually standing in front of the acquisition.com office, which is actually the former UFC office, which is pretty cool. And that just, I think, adds some realism to it, right? Because it's showing like, okay, you're going to go to a physical location. Now there's even more value because you get to meet him in person, right? You also get to go to this acquisition.com office, and it just seems more legit rather than just, you know, a picture off of Google, right? So I like that a little bit more. And then it kept the headline the same, win one day with Hormozi. But on this, I explained it a little bit more, right? Win one day at the acquisition.com office with Hormozi. And if you see what I'm trying to do here, I'm just trying to answer any question the customer could have, right? I just want them to fully understand what the offer is, because the confused mind doesn't buy, right? And you could extrapolate that out across 100 different ways, but right here, we're just trying to explain this in very clear, precise words, right? Now, I added a few bullets here of just a few more things of what they get: exclusive training from Hormozi to learn how to make money and win the game. Again, feature, right? Exclusive training from Hormozi to get benefit, what they want, right? Feature and the benefit of that feature. If you could take this one step further, you could say feature, benefit, and benefit of the benefit. But for this, we just left it at one benefit. Winning community of like-minded entrepreneurs to learn what's working now. Again, feature, benefit. Resets every month, giving you many chances to win a day with Hormozi, right? Just what are we doing? We're raising the perceived likelihood of achievement. And next, I added in this call to action here. Now, honestly, I think the two changes so far that are just like no-brainer tests, in my opinion, is testing the headline, right? Adding in a promise-based headline, not just a title of the Skool Games, and then adding in another call to action, right? Because just making it that much easier to click the button and start the process of joining will increase conversions, okay? If they don't have to scroll, one button is sufficient. They don't need another button on desktop if they don't have to scroll. But on mobile, as soon as you start scrolling, right here, I think you're gonna get to the point where you can't see a button, at least on some screen sizes. And that making them have to like scroll back up will hurt conversions, right? Whereas if the button is right there, it's just like, boom, click it and they're in, right? These are things that, you know, like it's so simple, but it really increases conversion. So lastly on this page, I wanted to add a bit of urgency and scarcity, okay? So I decided to add this section that says join before the next game begins, because we're kind of trying to push the fact that like, hey, there's some FOMO here. Don't miss out on this next game. And then adding a countdown timer here. That's very, very simple. Again, just trying to add a little bit of scarcity. And then I would keep the structure relatively the same on mobile, you know, just stacking it like that, but having another button below it, adding in those bullets and adding in that countdown timer. Now, let's look at the rest of the funnel live on their site and see if there's anything else they could do there. Sweet. So this is a page live that we were just reviewing. And if you click play for free, it's going to prompt me to either create your Skool account or log in. So we'll log in and we get redirected to this page right here. Now, a lot of the things I said about the landing page, Hormozi makes up for on this page because he does a ton of the things I was just talking about, right? So I like this video. Let's watch what he does.
If you've been consuming content and you've been on the internet, you're looking at social media, and you've been trying to figure out what business to start, you don't need to look any further.
So right there, he's speaking to his audience, right? And this is great copy. Great copy speaks to really what the customer is already thinking. They've already been consuming content. Their frustration is they're looking for a business to start and they don't know which one, right? There's so many gurus that are like SMMA or e-commerce or drop shipping or remote closing, whatever it may be. And he says, you don't have to look anymore. Start a Skool community.
This is it. You can start a Skool community. Now, this is something we've been working on for a long time, and you're going to want to hear the whole thing because you're going to be able to win a lot of prizes and make a lot of money.
Boom, he's pre-framing, right, what's going to happen. He's really incentivizing them to stay and to retain, and then he's also adding in the fact that if they retain, they can get what they want, a lot of prizes, a lot of money. Now, we're not going to watch every second of this, but just looking at this board, you can see what Hormozi is doing. He's going to go over the prizes, and here he's actually going to explain where you're going to be able to meet him, right? You're going to get a little bit more clarity on that, which again is going to answer that question. But the whole point of that first page was to get people to this page, right? So even though it might be a little bit redundant, we're trying to increase the throughput on every single page. So then he goes into these other points, the easiest business today, right? What is he doing? Again, if you just look at the value equation, that's exactly what he's doing. He's just giving them what they want. They want something that's easy, right? They don't want something that's hard. They want something that's easy to get to their goal. He says, if you don't know what to sell, it doesn't matter. This solves that for you. If you don't have an audience, it doesn't matter. This solves that for you. If you're not an expert, it doesn't matter. This solves that for you, right? And you don't need any extra tools, right? Landing page softwares and this and that. You don't need any of that stuff because Skool has it all built in. Again, like if you just read $100 million offers, that is exactly what he's doing here. He's just removing every objection, stacking the deck in their favor, and that's it, right? So this video, if you click next, it then takes you to actually create a group where you can create it for 99 bucks a month, and then you're immediately redirected into playing the game. One thing I really like about this process right here is the gamification of it. The fact that they've kind of created it into these little check marks, right? And you kind of you can see how long it's going to take. And it's extremely simple to go through this. And I actually like the fact that they put this video on the second page opposed to the landing page, because now there's no distraction, right? People are going to watch this and it's short enough that everyone is going to watch this, right? It's really going to warm them up, right? So this video, I think, really does a lot of the heavy lifting for this funnel. But I do think if we optimize this page a little bit, we'd get more people clicking on play for free, right? Because if you think about it, most people, when they think of play for free or when they think of a call to action on a landing page like this, where does it take them? It takes them to like create an account. They probably have to enter their credit card information. And you can see that, right? And then you click and you're kind of pleasantly surprised that it's just a video. But again, I think just making it a little bit more clear as to what this is would really increase the conversion rate. But these are things you at least have to test, right? Which I'm sure they're probably working on some split tests coming up soon here. So this has been some of the optimizations I would make based on changes we've seen really crush it for other funnels to make this thing work just a little bit better, which would add a lot of value to Skool. If you enjoyed this video, here's a breakdown I did on Sam Ovens and how he went from 0 to $100 million in net worth. And again, really what I learned from being kind of behind the curtain in his quantum mastermind, watching him grow Skool, watching him grow consulting.com, and learning all these things from him. If you enjoyed this video, again, check that one out, and I'll see you there.